You filthy animals.
How's my buddies over at the R2 Sonic Campfire doing today?
Never know. Keep them warm.
Oh, man.
You guys should come. You're my good luck charms, man. I always catch fish with you guys.
Is there room on the bus?
Because I look at you guys, and the 8 or 9 of you guys impressed me a lot. You know, because I first ran. Okay. You know.
No, go on.
You guys.
I don't do advertising. You're not going to see me on billboards or in newspapers, classifieds, none of that. Well, yeah, there's that because, you know, you guys are awesome. But
Yeah, well, that's comforting to know in case I say something stupid.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're hearing it real
That's
time.
kind of our thing, so don't step on our turf.
Yeah, come on, man.
Oh, man, I hope I don't.
What we're saying is actually new, so that's why we're fumbling a little bit, but it's going to sound amazing.
And we are back. You are listening to the Rutten River Pursuit Podcast. We are Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you with the people, skills, and products that you can trust.
You can trust them.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that sounded nice tonight, boys.
Crisp. In sync.
You know what? We're sitting around a Sonic Campfire. Ooh, that sounded good,
It's
too.
hot.
You guys are on it tonight. I love it. Let's find out who I got with me. I'm Ryan. Who's here?
I'm Kyle.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Will.
It's Bucky.
Boys.
I know.
I think we got a good show. Bucky, you said you had a surprise for me, but before we do that,
We need tell us about our sponsor for this month, Ryan.
I'll tell you about this month's sponsor.
Tell me.
This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Protection First Class Outdoors. PFC lubes were designed and developed to protect and lubricate your firearms, your bows, your tree stands, heck, all your outdoor equipment.
What about fishing rods?
Absolutely fishing rods, Stevie. You know it.
No way.
You know it.
Even kniveses?
You can use it on all your knives, Bucky, the ones you made and the ones you bought. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff was originally designed to use in automotive undercoatings. Now, it don't get more corrosive than that.
I heard that.
That's true.
Hey, Ryan,
Yeah, buddy.
does it leave a film or residue?
Absolutely not, Brian. No film, no residue. This stuff isn't going to harm the bluing on your firearms, any other kind of finish you got on any of your other outdoor products. This stuff is the ticket. And what? Now, wait.
I bet it freezes.
It does not freeze, Bucky.
What?
Oh,
But there's one more thing I got to tell you about. This stuff will also act as a cover scent.
You got me.
How many times you ever taken a well-protected and lubricated piece of equipment in the outdoors? It stinks, boys.
it
Yes,
stinks.
it does.
Not this stuff. They got the earth and the pine cover scent mixed right into the lubricant.
Wow.
They
Come
thought
on.
of
Can't beat it.
everything.
That's right, guys. Make sure you head on over to pfcoutdoors.com. Check out everything they got going on over there. Pick up some of that lube. It's the ticket.
Guys, I can't get over this PFC outdoor product.
Is that right, buddy?
Yeah, I found another use.
What's that?
I'm not sure. Really?
Go on.
I've been spraying it on my right knee. You know, I have that bad knee, the wounded
yeah.
knee.
Yeah.
I've been spraying it there. You know what's great? Is
What's that?
not only does it help me
It's not recommended for
loosen
That's
up,
off-label
Can't
use.
imagine.
but it keeps with my cover scent motif of fresh earth.
Does it work on diverticulitis?
We'll find out. I've started spraying it on my left lower quad. I have an inguinal hernia type of an issue going on right now
Really?
too. Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Oversharing.
None of this is recommended.
Yeah.
This
You
is-
should probably consult a physician.
Check your regs.
I hope the CDC and the FDA are not listening in right now.
Well, why do you bring all of this
They're
up?
huge
Buck?
fans of the show, Buck.
Well, I'm bringing this up because we happen to have two gentlemen on the line tonight that happen to be the guys
What did you do?
at Protection First Class Outdoors.
Really?
We have with us tonight, all the way from Somerset, PA. They happen to be local boys.
Just down the turnpike.
Turnpike Brothers,
Turnpike Brotherhood.
Kirk Sherbine and Chris Flick.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome.
Good. How you guys doing? How's it going?
Really
We're
good.
good, buddy.
I am doing great, guys. Thanks to you.
Yeah. Bucky's all lubed
Thanks
up.
for having me.
Did you guys ever? Did you guys ever have?
I think we need to go.
Anybody?
You can just see Dr. Pepper about those medical issues. Yeah.
Dr. Pepper in where's he from? Winchesterton, Fieldville, Iowa.
Yeah.
That's right. Got the reference.
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys ever had anybody recommending the lube for
Joints.
joint issues.
It's working so far. At least in my head, it is.
Well, that's all that matters, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah, we don't recommend that. At least our lawyers tell us not to recommend that.
Right.
But
You got good
you
lawyers.
can try it. Hey,
That's good
The
advice.
we're
product,
always looking for test dummies if you're willing to try it.
and you can also probably spray it on the bottoms of your feet and put your socks on and just cover up the stank real good too.
that
Yeah.
good of a cover scent.
It's got a great. I love that Fresh Earth, guys.
I use it as a moisturizer.
Oh my God.
All right, you guys
Anyway.
stop it.
Please.
Maybe what we could
Also
do.
not recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The product's great, but for its recommended use.
So let's try this. How about Kirk or Chris, whoever wants to take the reins on this one? Why don't you guys tell us about what you're doing over at PFC Outdoors and what the lube should be used for? Let's try that.
Sure.
Good call,
Okay.
Ryan.
We developed this lubricant. It's actually lanolin, like wool wax based lubricant that we developed over 2 to 3 years, and we just kept tweaking the formula, until we would go and buy whatever gun oil was on the market at the time, whatever the hottest thing was. We would go and buy it, and we have a salt spray booth here at our plant, and we would treat plates of metal with our product and then various other competitors, and we would just keep going back to the drawing board until we could beat that product in rust protection and long-term lubrication. It took us, like I said, 2 or 3 years to do that, and finally, literally, we have it is, as far as we know of, it is the best product on the market for long-term lubrication. For example, I'm making a pitch actually last week to the Bill Cody Museum out in Cody, Wyoming. Ooh. It has the largest firearms museum in the world, and they're talking about switching from the product they were using because it just blows it away.
Wow.
So we've had a lot of luck with that. And then all that said, we wanted to just be something a little bit unique or something, have something that would differentiate us from the market. Mm-hmm. So we added this. We came up with the idea of adding this, earth or pine cover scent to it.
Sure.
Because you figure, as a deer hunter, you spend $300, $500 on scent lock clothing and do the ozonics and all that stuff, and then you walk around with a gun that smells like WD-40.
Yeah.
If your stand starts squeaking the first day of the season, there's not much you can do about it. It's not going to smell. So, this way you can treat your tree stand. You can treat your bow cams that squeak, of course, protect your gun. So it's just a really good fit for deer hunters.
So what else can you do with it? You hit on a couple things there, but in general, what kind of lube with this stuff?
I mean, it's gonna work for any of your firearms. Kirk mentioned cams on your bow, small little parts on your bow that are moving, or even some of the metal parts you can rub down with this so it doesn't rust. Mm-hmm. Anything you're putting in storage for a long time, you don't want to pull out a gun out of the gun safe in a year or two if you let it sit in there that long and have rust on it. So your firearms, your bow, it's going to cover, but all gun oils do that. Where we kind of separate ourselves is we're good on, your tree stands, your ground blinds, your ATVs, your side-by-sides, the garage door, the door in your cabin. Anything that needs to move, be quiet, and not smell like humans, you can use this stuff on. And it lasts a long, long time. One thing Kirk can touch on that really differentiates us from other people is how well we work in cold weather and cold environments.
Yeah, this stuff won't freeze, right?
It won't freeze. Kirk put that to the test one weekend up here in Somerset. It was like negative 8 below. 8 below, but with wind chill, it was like more than negative 22. I think. We have a video online of Kirk taking some really nice shotguns. He treats them with the PFC, he tapes the barrel shut, closes the breech, and throws them in a snowdrift overnight, and leaves them there with camera on it. Snow builds up over top of them. Goes out the next morning, pulls everyone out, and every one of them sights, flawlessly. So I think Kirk, you guys were having some issues on hunts. But
yeah, I'm a waterfowler. That's probably my passion, probably even more so than deer. And that's kind of how we started developing this product. Is every product on the market would freeze at some point, and so we just started kind of monkeying around with this, until we came up with something that wouldn't freeze. And actually, the day that we did that test, that's kind of when it kind of clicked that maybe we were onto something, And from then on, we just kind of took the product and ran with it, and haven't really looked back. So
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, if you're gonna take the advice of someone who's in the outdoors and knows how to abuse a weapon, it's going to be somebody who waterfowl hunts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those shotguns are put through some pretty rigorous adventures. And if you've got a product that you built specifically because of the issues you've run into, I mean, then you know you got something good.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. Yeah. The other thing too is it's kind of fun for me now because I have an old, Model 12 Winchester and a old Fox double barrel that I was always afraid to take out of the gun case, if it was raining out, and now I take them no matter what, So
nice.
You don't have to worry about them rusting or not being protected.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to take Grandpa's rifle out that hasn't seen sunlight in 25 years, and not worry about what the weather's going to be like, or beating it up and stuff, just from the moisture in the air.
Heck yeah! If it's going to be good enough for that Cody Museum, it's good enough for Pat Ball's.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited about the Bill Cody thing because it'll really give us notoriety and put us on the map, nationwide.
It sure will. I was at that place when I was 11, 12. My family took a trip out west, and we rolled back through there, and we hit all the tourist places, Waldron.
Oh yeah.
Is that when they left you at the Grand Canyon?
Mm-hmm. They tried to, but Indians took
in a trash can, right?
Yeah,
in a trash can. Yeah,
I made a teepee out of it.
Found some of that Copenhagen, none of that skull stuff.
And the Indians took me.
You found the meteorite.
I was more of a Levi Garrett. I was a cheek the cheek kind of guy.
I've always thought you were a little cheeky.
He doesn't
little
get it.
cheeky.
Yeah. Well, tell it what's going on with the Cody Museum, guys.
Well, yeah.
Not you, Bucky. Them.
Right now we found out what they were using on all their firearms, and it's surprising. Kind of leads into a point I wanted to make. Not many people think about rust on your guns until it's far too late.
Yeah.
Or the average gun owner is not gonna think. They're gonna think that they treat their guns well enough that rust isn't an issue until it is. This is just going to prevent that. That what the Bill Cody Museum was using was a product that was pretty reputable in the market, even for rust prevention and things like that. And we just put it through the paces against our protection first class and every form we have it, and just blew it away. Now, granted, the stuff that Bill Cody was using does a lot better than the average stuff in a can on the shelf at Wally World, but
sure,
nothing like ours. This product was designed around two things: lubricate for a long time and prevent rust for even longer. So, the other stuff's added benefits. There's real world situations that the same formula gets put into, and other aspects, and it's never failed. So, if it sounds like we're overconfident in it, we have proven it.
They've called us now 3 or 4 times, and they're just looking into what does it do to a wood stock? What does it? And we went back and gave them the spec sheets on. It's actually a lot of the oils are like something you would treat like the cutting board in your house, with.
Right.
Then they came back and said they had one question about one of the chemicals, and we went back, to our chemist and answered that. I'm 90% sure that they're going to go with it. Honestly, the only thing, speaking of lawyers, the only thing that we're, I think, working out at this point is, are we able to advertise that as the official, gun oil of the Bill Cody Museum? Yeah, I'm willing to give them the oil.
Yeah.
Just to have the long-term notoriety.
That's pretty cool.
So that's the kind of things we're just working out now. So
and it sounds like, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if you boys have any previous history of being in the armed forces, and if you have, thank you very much for your service. But it sounds like you guys could potentially be the bane of drill sergeants around the country and might have an opportunity with your government as well, serving them. And I think the current administration
this stuff sounds like it's a little better than the standard issue CLP. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're working on like a CLP version of it. We have a cleaner in the works. I mean, it's actually, we just need to come and finish up the label and the bottling and that sort of thing. So we have the formula done.
Nice.
We have found it's like pulling teeth though to get into the military, as far as all the hoops to jump through and all that.
Yeah.
We have had some luck with some, like a good many police forces.
I don't know. They let me in pretty easy.
That's true.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I think a well-placed letter and a few email campaigns to our fearless leader, Donald Trump III, and he might jump into that. I mean,
give it a whirl, Bach.
He loves entrepreneurs in America. Yeah, I mean, he's big time into that.
Let it ride.
Lots of things. Yeah. I'll tweet him tonight, see if he replies.
There you go.
Well, sure. I'll even jump on the PFC Outdoors train and try to help you guys
Do
out
it,
with
man.
that.
Hashtag. You're on the hook now.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna go ahead.
We've been going to all these outdoor shows in the gun industry, and they're calling it the Trump slump. Like every industry in the world or in America is booming, except for the gun and hunting industry, because all us gun nuts have been storing guns for the last 8 years. So now everybody then nobody's scared to lose them anymore.
You kind of feel a little bit safe right now.
Yeah, but you got to still take care of them all, though. That's
right. Yeah, right.
So
you can bury them in your backyard. Just hide them from the government. At least put PFC on them.
That's right.
That could be our new slogan. Right. Yeah, but it comes off easier than constantly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm sure when you guys are coming up with this, there's probably several different formulations and different tweaks and whatnot. What kind of testing do you do? How do you say that one's better than the other? What kind of protocol is there for that?
Enters the engineer.
It's a good question. We've actually we've used a couple like outside chemists to help us come up with the initial formula. But then after that, we would just kind of tweak it ourselves. And I'll be honest, we started out with took an old beer fridge from a dorm, like we didn't want those wee little dorm fridges.
Yeah.
And got a bunch of humidifiers and filled them up with salt water. We've advanced, past that somewhat now, but we would just get steel plates, clean them all the same.
Make
hang
like
them in
a
there
salt spray tank or something.
Yeah, exactly what it was, a 4-man salt spray test. To buy one was like $10,000. So, we built one for $50.
Yeah.
And, we kept having to go through humidifiers because they're not made to have salt water up through them. But,
what was really fun is when the fridge started falling.
Yeah, then we tried it with, we actually started, the whole product is, started as an automotive like undercoating for rust proofing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to ask about that then.
Yeah. And then we did it one time with the magnesium chloride that like PennDOT's using, and it literally rusted the whole refrigerator fell apart.
I went to check the results, and I opened the door, and the door just came off.
Yeah. What'd you do? What did you do?
I was like, okay, so that's a thing. It's pretty bad, and
That's
going
pretty
back,
bad
like,
from the resale.
That chemical is harsher than anybody's gun. 90% of people's guns ever going to see.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the kind of chemical that'll take a raw steel plate, turn it, brown orange with rust to black, and then to white to chalk, and then just the plate will start disintegrating.
Yeah, in 24 hours, really.
With 24 hours, you had well, in 12 hours, you had complete coverage of rust. In 24 hours, the white flaking started.
Wow.
By the next day, you had less of a plate hanging there than was before.
Yeah.
And, the PFC stood up to it like crazy. Going back to the armed services thing, we use lanolin as our main ingredient in this. And actually, that started as the Navy started. What they would do is they would paint the inside of the ballast tanks on their ships with lanolin. Lanolin's like a naturally occurring Vaseline. You harvest it off of sheep, their wool. It's what keeps them waterproof and insulated in the winter. So they were painting on the inside of the ballast tanks to keep the rust, from forming.
Right.
And then eventually people started discovering it's a really good lubricant. It's a really, really good penetrant too. And if you have existing rust, spray this on there, let it sit for a little bit. Maybe if you got the time, a couple hours a day, go back and wipe it off, and it's going to take that surface rust off, and you're just going to be left with the pitting underneath if you unfortunately have any. So
right.
And that's the part, and maybe we have to bring the engineers or the scientists in for the conversation, but that's the craziest part to me. As abrasive as this stuff is against corrosion, it's not going to hurt the bluing. And you've got gun museums that are likely to sign on with you guys to protect those guns, so they're not going to mess around. Like, this stuff is that, like, how can it be that great at ripping off the rust but won't mess up the bluing on a barrel?
Well, it's a natural penetrant, so it's non-toxic and it's solvent-free. We don't have any solvents in it. The solvents are really what's going to hurt, your bluings or the wood finishes. Any plastic parts, the wrong kind of solvent's going to discolor it.
Okay.
But like I said, our main ingredient is lanolin.
That's the trick.
I'm not going to give you the exact percentage, but it's definitely up
come
there.
on.
If you had to give us an exact percentage, what would you say it was?
But it's greater than 3/4. We'll put it that way.
All right, fair enough.
And compare, there's a couple similar automotive products on the market, but we have the highest lanolin content by far of anybody. And we source really good lanolin. I mean, we don't just take whatever lanolin we can get. We just ran through this where we were looking at a different, more steady, constant supply of lanolin.
Right.
First thing we had to do was make some batches and run it through the test cycles. We don't, we might have some redneck engineering skills, but we don't do anything halfway.
Right.
It's a good point. And it's kind of crazy when you get, between myself, Kirk, and really, I think, a guy in the back, Jeff Splitzman, needs mention.
Yeah.
You get, the three of us who all are, similar guys at heart, but have different backgrounds, coming up with solution to problems. And this really, I don't think any of this could happen without Jeff and, the support we have in the warehouse. And, Kirk and I are just, two guys. Kirk had the original idea for the scent, and I just get real excited about the product and, help get behind it. So if it wasn't, for, three guys, you were asking what testing stuff goes to. Honestly, we decide what do we want in a gun oil that's not out there. And, we answered that question first. We want something that's not going to hurt anything. It's going to last a long time. And the thing I like too is if you do any kind of hunting around, with a dog or something, and you don't have to worry about it getting, your dog, or if you get somewhere in the house, definitely if you're using it in the house, use the pine. Your significant others probably won't yell at you as much. But this all just comes from, almost redneck engineering ideas, but then real world solutions. We put the rubber to the road on everything.
It's basically, we're all lifelong hunters, of various backgrounds. Like I said, I'm more waterfowl, a little bit of deer hunting, Flick's, probably more deer hunting and more archery.
Right.
We just kind of put our heads together and said, what all problems are we having out there? I remember as a kid, bow hunting, I had the original bear whitetail bow. That thing squeaked so bad every time I pulled it back. And I actually was at the point of using my mom's cooking oil because it didn't smell as bad as the gun oil.
Yep.
Just because, I just remembered that. That's how I came up with the herb scent. And like I said, in the rust and the lubrication. Actually, the rust came from I have a buddy that's a sea duck hunting guide on Chesapeake Bay. And, his gun was literally orange, like just, it looked like he spray painted orange. Yeah. And, he was actually my first kind of field tester. And, he loves this stuff. And he actually has, we have like the baby wipe edition, with the little, wipes that pull out. And he keeps one in both of his boats, for his clients. And they just love it.
I have some of those too. And I've really, I'm leaning on them very heavy this year. It's so easy to pull them out.
Yeah. So and talking about the wipes, Saturday opens the early muzzleloader season. You're not going to find a better product for black powder.
Yeah,
whether it's modern, black powder.
You did it. You took over my show. I was literally
it's in my list of questions.
I was like, yeah, you guys have a good product, blah 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 blah. But how does it do against the black powder? And that's very corrosive. And
so what I like to do with the wipes, or even I like to get a patch and just put a little bit on and run it through the barrel before I start shooting. And then, between every shot or two, when I was shooting at the range last night or the night before, and it was funny. My dad got his inline rifle for the first time out and was shooting it. And I said, he said, it's getting real hard to put this bullet down in here. I said, you got to clean it out. That's too much like work. All right. So I put, so he hadn't put anything on it. He shot a couple times before we were there that night. So it was real bad. It was black. The carbon had been sitting in there for at least a day or two.
Ooh.
Ran a couple patches through, and had him shoot a couple more times. And tell you what, it got a lot easier, and it was a lot easier to clean them up at the end of the night.
Yeah.
And those are the those are ideal. The inlines are ideal because I know my pistol, I have an inline muzzleloading pistol, or if you have a rifle, that's not something you're using the whole hunting season. So it's real easy to use that, and maybe, shoot it. You kind of clean it real quick. You throw it back. You get back on your archery grind, or you get ready for the gun season. You kind of forget about it. It happened to me with my pistol before, and you go to pull it out, and there's a couple rust spots on it. Or you realize, I didn't clean it as good as I wanted to.
Right.
If you kind of just maintain it with this stuff, even at the range with those wipes, just wipe it down before you go home. You're not going to have those issues. It makes it a lot easier to take care of stuff.
I don't know how much muzzleloading the guys around the table do, but it doesn't take very long before those things are, it's hard to get pushing the ball down and all,
I'm lucky if I get 2 shots off with my flintlock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without a full breakdown and cleaning. So to have some way of keeping it clean, just to keep it firing is impressive.
Yahtzee.
Nailed it.
Do you still have to use a solvent-based cleaner before you use this?
This isn't going to clean any of those, any of the hard ground in stuff, but because it's a natural penetrant, I believe what it does is if it finds metal, any porous surface, it's going to penetrate down into the pores and then kind of make a self-leveling layer of protection and lubrication.
Yeah.
So once it get underneath all that stuff, it's not going to get, carbon buildup's tough. It's to a degree chemically bonded with the metal in some cases. So it's tough. She still uses solvent cleaner or, with the black powdered hot dish soap. Yeah. That's never failed me in my limited experience. But
then it's the main thing too, that whenever you put it away, definitely, run a patch with, either squirt a little PFC down the barrel and then run a patch or run a patch that's coated. Get the nipple or the pan or whatever too really well, because, what's going to happen, there's going to be one little spot that you missed, and next fall it's going to be a spot of rust, where if you coat it, wipe it down really good with the PFC after you cleaned it, it kind of helps
that's where
catch any spots you missed.
That's where I'm seeing the big benefit coming from.
Yeah, for sure. It'll creep to a degree as well. The PFC will, to spread out. And as a coating, it's self-healing to a degree too. If you scratch some of it off, it's going to want to fill that gap back in because it wants to make a complete layer around, over the metal or whatever.
We've actually tried to push it more. It's the ideal black powder just because, the more harmful or caustic the environment, the more you're better off using PFC versus any other gun oil. There aren't any big, giant internet sites for black powder that we've found, like there are bow hunting and
we're just looking in the wrong.
Yeah, we're just trying to find a place where we can hook up and really push this to muzzleloaders.
If someone's listening to this that's a part of a group online like that, go to our website and fill out that we have a contact form there.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Or Facebook, we're on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. But definitely, we'd love to partner up with some people on the black powder side.
Yeah, we're looking for pro staff actually in there too.
Yep.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of black powder, I just want to throw this out because you mentioned about warm dish soap. Take that dish soap, throw it away. Take some Murphy's oil soap and put it in place, and you're golden, buddy.
Like the stuff you clean floors with?
Murphy's oil soap.
Really?
I'll tell you what, it does a number on black powder. But now that I can get it clean with my oil sope, and I protect it and lubricate it going forward with my PFC, I got no problems.
Yeah. 99 problems, but lube ain't one.
That's a good idea. Actually, I never thought of the Murphy's. That's a good idea.
Oh, that stuff works so good.
That's how I was taught to clean a muzzleloader.
Kirk and Chris, another question I have is for the testing. Have you guys ever done any tests as far as the longevity? Say you put your oil on your gun. How long would you guys say that would last?
As far as like how many shots or
how long it would.
How long does the whistle stay wet? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking, Bucky.
Yeah.
I don't know that's
so
what he said.
It's more of that's a good question. It's more of a waxy type of a product than it is an oil.
Okay.
So if you spray on, pick an oil, Rem oil, Hoppies, pick a product, WD-40, whatever. If you spray it on, it's solvent based, and instantly it starts to evaporate, and it might take a couple days, it might take a couple months, but it's going to evaporate. With this product, it's more of a wax, it's a wool wax based product, and but when I first started this, I actually took, I have a gun cabinet with probably 20 rifles and shotguns in. And I literally went down the line and did every other one. One with, I think it was Rem oil at the time. One with, PFC. And 2-3 months later, you could come back and tell, number one, if you felt the stock or the, anything metal on the gun, you could feel it on your fingers. It lets a film. It's a waxy film as it lets. So, I'm not going to say it's going to be good for 2 or 3 years, but I would say there's a good chance it will be.
I would say that.
Yeah.
We have it tested in other ways where people have put it on metal parts, stored them, and gone back years later, and it's still on there.
Yeah.
If you're putting it in a gun safe, I'm confident in saying yes for sure. I mean, it's one of those things. We've not found the ceiling on that yet. So we'll put it to you that way. But the concrete answer that we can give you is this formula has been tested and it's a little bit thicker, but it doesn't really make a difference in this instance.
Yeah.
The thickness is just to protect against abrasion.
Well,
but and it's been multiple years. I think it was like 3-4, wasn't it? Something like that. Something crazy. Yeah. And it's and it was still on. I mean, you can still feel it on there.
I would probably. I'm going to jump in here. I know that I would probably say maybe a little bit longer because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jump in a time machine and we're all going to go.
That sounds pretty good.
Sounds like a time
Hey,
machine.
who won the Super Bowl?
It can only go
Heck with
backwards.
that. Bring back some lottery numbers.
There you go.
That'd work.
Go backwards.
How about when that buck's going to be there?
Yeah, actually, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's what I'd
Can you
come
give me
back.
trail camera pictures from this weekend at 8 a.m.?
Yeah.
No, let me pick the year. You guys. But anyway, I'm joking. I'm gonna go back in time. Stevie and I were cousins, and we grew up in an automotive family.
Okay.
And I have to tell this because this stuff is a little bit more time tested than we're actually kind of. I feel like we're letting on. We grew up in Stevie's dad had a foreign car garage, which he serviced like old Porsches and Volkswagen Bugs, and like the Ford Broncos, like the things that you could hear rust. You could just, they're sitting there, you could hear them rusting. And so we grew up around that. My father was a auto parts manager and blah, 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 blah. Long story. Long history in the auto parts industry. And Birkabau 2+2 has like been on every shelf. It's like lined in every garage.
Oh yeah.
That, you know, that we have and for years. So, and this stuff is kind of bred from that base. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's exactly accurate. I bought the company 7 years ago, literally from a little old lady who she ran it for 65 years.
Wow.
The company's been around since 1954.
Makes her own products.
Yeah,
since '67.
Yeah, we've been making our own products since '67, and she developed just these phenomenal formulas. She was here for 3 years after I bought the company, and kind of, you know, showed me the ropes, and you know, it was kind of obvious that we needed to kind of breathe some new life into the brand and develop some more, you know, products along those lines.
Yeah.
It all came from our, you know, heritage of developing, you know, literally the best automotive chemicals, you know, this side of the country.
Sure.
So,
we were just sitting here, and because we got to meet Kurt at the Bearded Buck and had, you know, just a great time. That's always a great time, right, Kurt? You know, the guys there at the Bearded Buck are just top notch. But having that time together, and then you know, Stevie didn't get to make it on that trip, and I was telling him,
I didn't.
The guys that came, you know, I said the Birkabau guys, the blue cans, you know,
2+2,
the 2+2, that like they were there, and he's, you know, and then I'm like, they're from Somerset, and we just could not believe that. It just we just thought that was a, you know,
national brand.
Yeah, and actually, how it all ties together is. We kind of touched on it a little earlier, but basically there was a need, you know, out there for an automotive undercoating, you know, not like the old rubberized black stuff that, you know, hides the rust and then, you know, falls off and, you know, makes more rust under it like a Petri dish. But this was, you know, it's like a Vaseline type consistency. And we have probably, I would say, between 200 and 300 garages now spread around. More. Flick's telling me there's more.
Yeah, there's more than that. I know there's 811 people that either sell or install our products.
Yeah, so you go and get your oil changed, you know, while it's up on the rack for another 100.
It's about 500 installers.
About 500 installers.
The whole way from Maine down to, you know, to where the Rust Belt ends.
Yeah.
I mean, we have,
And, you know, for another $125, $150, when you get your oil change, you know, they'll treat your car with this. It's, you know, almost the exact same formula as our gun oil, a little thicker, but, you know, chemically it's, you know, really similar. You know, it'll protect your truck or car from the rust, you know, for, you know, at least a year.
What's that product called?
It is PFC, Protection First Class.
Yeah.
It's under our, you know, 2+2 brand. If you get on our website, it's birkabauoil.com. It'll show you where all the installers are, where you can buy. You can actually buy, we sell a do-it-yourself kit, which is you just hook up to an air compressor. It's enough to do. It's a gallon of it, which is enough to do a couple vehicles.
At least two Chevy Cruze-sized vehicles.
Yeah, you know, maybe one pickup or whatever.
Pickup in a car.
Yeah. And so that was kind of the first step. That was actually the first product that I helped develop, you know, when I bought the company. It's really taken off. I mean, we're like Flick said, you know, we're from Maine, you know, down through Maryland. And then the next logical step with that was, you know, how do we take that product now? And, you know, we're all hunters and we started using it on our guns.
What was funny is we have 4-ounce aerosol cans that are samples for the automotive side of it. And we started, you know, we had customers that wanted to buy those sample cans off of us. And why do you want to buy these 4-ounce cans? We have 15-ounce cans, you know? Well, a lot of guys knew that lanolin was an awesome product to use on your firearms. I mean, it's been around for a while. If you start doing some searching, especially on some of the black powder forums there are, lanolin's not a new suggestion. You know, the way we work it, the way it's to get, you know, back to the scientific side, it's not just straight lanolin dumped in a jug and mixed with some other stuff. You have to, it's mixed with some other waxes and some other things to get the consistency we want. And, you know, even, you know, weird to say the texture of it to a degree. So, you know, that's a process, and that took a lot of thinking.
Yeah. But it's, so that's kind of how the whole thing kind of evolved. One thing I will say is like the aerosol version, it's a little thicker than your standard gun oil. So what we would recommend, like it actually, when you spray it on your gun, it bubbles, which is actually it soaking into the pores, and but then wipe it off. So, you know, we have gotten some complaints that people say, oh, it's too thick. Well, if you put it on and wipe it off, it just lets this like perfect film. You mentioned like the baby wipes, and we have like that gun rag.
Yeah.
That you just wipe it on, and it lets like this perfect, you know, thickness of film, and it semi-dries, you know, perfectly. And
he's talking, so the gun rag he's talking about, we have the microfiber cloth that we've soaked in the product and then wrung it out to the degree we want it.
Don't wring it out too much.
Yeah, easy there.
That's right.
Easy there,
That's
boy.
a special position we have back there. Guy gets a special Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
We call him the ringer.
The ringer. Bring in the ringer.
Yeah.
So a lot of people asking us how long it takes for the rags to dry out.
Yeah.
We have one nailed to the wall, and long story short, what I'd say is an extremely non-moisture rich environment. It's very dry. It's not humid at all. There's a lot of silicone around it, so it takes the moisture out of everything. We have a rag nailed to the wall in there. It's been there for over 8 months now, right?
Yeah, right. And it's normally they're stored in a Ziploc, bag.
Yeah.
This is hanging out there.
Wow.
It won't dry out. You'll just use all the product out of the rag, and you can add some more.
Yeah, it's not exactly a good business model, because you buy one for, I don't know, $6 or $7. I might make $1, and then 20 years from
Holy
now,
cow.
It'll dry out, and I'll sell you another one. So
Yeah,
I'm not exactly getting rich on this.
I'll be
Just gonna have to
perfect.
come up with new scents.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I'm gonna tear down a little bit of a fourth wall for everybody.
Fifth wall.
Fifth wall even.
Seventh.
Yeah. So I actually
He's Dr. Strange.
I helped put together a little promo video for the product, and Will was kind enough to let me use one of the cans that he's got, and I used one of my gun rags. And don't tell Will this, but I soaked my gun rag before I gave him the can back. So the good news is I know now about how long that rag's going to last.
Did you
That's
call
good
the
to know.
ringer to find out how much you should?
No, I didn't, but I will consult the ringer next time Will lets me borrow that can.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, we can loan you the ringer.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost something.
All right. We can work some out.
Yeah.
It's probably
All right.
$30
Is that
extra.
Is that you that did the video?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. It's really good.
I was dying.
You should see the
It's right
outtakes.
up our alley. Yeah.
I got 7 minutes of just him spraying everything in his basement.
My garage door works better now. It's great.
You said there's 7 minutes. I saw the 59 seconds.
Yeah.
How did you fit? What all else did you have in that room?
Everything. He was spraying everything.
He pretty much
one
limited
second
it to
you
what
shoot
fit.
a revolver,
yeah.
the next second a tree stand shows up in the frame.
Yeah. 7 minutes of
We
that.
didn't mess around. We got her done.
Let's respect your gadget.
That's so good. Got your tree stand.
This needs lubed and that needs it.
Guys, that's why I've been saying get in there all night long from that video when Ryan's rubbing it into his knife there.
He's like, get in there.
He's like, get in there.
It fills the pores on the wood too. It did an amazing job.
Guys, but before we end here, we got to talk a little bit about you guys' passions for hunting, because you can tell, we've kind of pivoted there a little bit for a few seconds, but then we pivoted back.
Yeah, we just hit the atmosphere.
Yeah, could we get into that for a few minutes?
Sure. Do you want to start, Flick? Yeah. I mean, I'm. This will be my 6th season with the bow. I've hunted. I thought I was an odd case of the hunter, but I'm finding more and more people. I'm 27. More guys my age are a lot like me. Is they might have hunted for a year or two when they were younger, with a rifle sitting on a light line somewhere, freezing their rear off.
Mm-hmm.
Not seeing. For me, not seeing any deer. I did that for 2 or 3 years and kind of, was a young punk kid, was into computers, thought, why go get cold all day, and didn't appreciate, the woodsmanship of it, stuff like that. Fast forward, I go to college in near Pittsburgh in the city, at Robert Morris, go Bobby Moe. And I come back and my younger brother actually takes me out fishing and got me kind of hooked on fishing and being outside. I like being outside. Got me out of my parents' basement. And then I got into hunting, started hunting more with my dad. And the big change was when I was younger, my dad called bows fester sticks. Bow and arrows are fester sticks. He didn't realize much about it. He didn't have the knowledge handed down to him, handed down to me. Fortunately, though, my brother got into it. My brother kind of taught himself a little bit of bow hunting. He then taught me. I, been working at Berkey Bow for 5 years now. And Kirk's helped me a lot. I'm always asking him questions and what probably dumb questions, but people help me out and I look stuff up and I'm truly in love with it. And it's something else. I'm going to Ohio here, on Halloween to hunt the rut with one of the guys in the back.
Trick or treat.
And,
Bless your heart.
Yeah, right. I'll take either. Man. I'll take either at that point. I'm excited. It's one of those things where I'm not a great hunter, but I love to do it, and you get better every year. And
yeah,
it's been a dream to work in this industry now.
That's awesome.
It's been something we've been doing for a while. And
have you had a chance to take a deer yet?
I have with a rifle. I've taken a couple.
Yeah.
Tends to be the last day with my brother and my dad swearing as they walk
day, last light,
bush or something.
Who haven't seen that?
Yeah. Last day, last light. That's the last 2 years I've gotten. The desperate doe drought ended last year. I had a 2-year deer drought. We had some family medical issues that kind of kept us back out of the woods for a little bit, but But I haven't taken one with the bow yet. So I'm.
Just
that's
you
on
wait.
my list.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully for you and your family, the bows have come a long way since your dad's fester sticks.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. And, we got him a crossbow, and that kind of made him a believer, too. And he didn't until my brother and I really started practicing with our bows, then he saw, once he sees my brother and I, taking fletchings off each other's arrows at 30, 40 yards just for fun, it made him a lot easier. And, it's cool to teach him some stuff, and he remembers stuff that he was kind of taught by people that comes into play. But
right.
I like it because I have very little control of the outcome. You can do all the work in the world, and, I believe you got to put the work in to get the deer. But at the end of the day, I enjoy being in the woods, and I enjoy giving myself up to nature and letting it happen. It's to me, it's an exercise in patience.
Yeah.
That I desperately need.
Yeah. My story, I've hunted my whole life. I'm 48, 49 right now. And, bow hunted all through high school.
What is
college.
it, Curtis? At 48?
It's 40. I'll be 49 here in a couple of weeks.
Gosh. 44.
Give me 50. Give me 51.
Yeah.
You sound like an auctioneer.
Yeah.
I hunted all through high school, college, bow hunted, and then got into duck hunting really big right after college. And I would hunt. I kind of quit bow hunting just because it was always the same time of year. And really got into duck hunting. Actually, my one buddy and I, we made it's a Barnegat Bay sneak boxes of these little fiberglass duck boats. We built them in my garage. We sell sell between 10 and 20 a year. Carve my own decoys, got into a little bit of competitive duck calling and,
no kidding.
Yeah, actually I did more competitive turkey calling than anything. Really into, they really got into turkey hunting. And then lately, so I have 4 kids. They kind of got me back into deer hunting just because, that's what all their buddies were doing.
Yeah.
And lately I've noticed, I think since the Duck Dynasty thing, it kind of ruined, duck hunting and goose hunting, especially in Pennsylvania. It's just nowhere near what it used to be. Everybody's doing it. It's gotten really crowded. It's taken a lot of the fun out of it.
We've heard that. Yeah, we've heard that from other folks.
That's why Stevie picked up the sea ducks. Sea duck hunting.
Yeah.
Less crowded.
Not a lot of people are doing it in the ocean.
Well, if you're going on a sea duck hunt, you better take some PFC.
I was just going to say that with that salt air, you better get that PFC on board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I probably, 7 or 8 years ago, I got more and more into back into deer hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I still duck hunt a little bit, goose hunt. And, but mostly it's, duck season comes in Saturday. I'm going to hunt Saturday morning for ducks. And then, all the evenings though, next week, I'm going to be back in the tree stand. So, that's kind of what
for duck. I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
You're in the duck stand.
For deer.
Tree stand for duck.
Sure, a little closer, I guess.
You might want to bring your shotgun with you, just in case.
Yeah, I know.
Check your eggs.
Seen some of that flooded timber. You need a tree stand.
The ducks be flying over.
Oh yeah.
And you're a little bit closer to sky bust then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
boy. Once again,
they would expect that.
Have you ever sea duck hunted, Kirk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it 2 or 3 times. Twice on the Chesapeake, and I did it once up around Boston.
Yeah.
I got shot some eiders. And literally, that night, I had I think at the time I was shooting a Remington 1187. I literally took it in the shower with me that night. I just tore it apart in the shower and hosed it out. It still rusted some, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's really hard shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's actually really easy to shoot. It's hard hitting.
Yeah, pulling the trigger is easy. Falling on the ground after you pull the trigger is extremely easy.
The day that Stevie went, the water level at Ocean City rose 1 inch
because of all the lead,
all the
steel,
all the steel that went in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 good buddies that sea duck guide. One pit boss, Jeff Coates.
Yeah.
He's out of Ocean City.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one's Sean Mann. He's like a world goose calling champ. He does a good bit of I'm friends with both of those guys. They do a ton of guiding.
Yeah, we love those guys. Captain Mark Spagnola is in that group too, and they're just
Uncle Jeff is a good guy.
They're bad boys.
Oh yeah,
the bad boys of duck hunting.
Yeah. I just got back 2 or 3 days ago from North Dakota.
How was that? I wanted to ask you all.
It's awesome. If you get a chance, I highly recommend it.
We didn't get invited. I don't know why. I thought we had a connection.
I got a lot of PTO. I got a lot of years in with the company. I have tons of PTO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a trip. I will travel.
I think I've probably been to North Dakota maybe 10 times.
I'm going
7, 8, 9 times. Yeah. I'm gonna take Flick along next year.
And
we've always
Uncle Buck.
We've always just freelanced. It's still a place where you can go knock on doors and maybe give a farmer a case of beer or something like that. And you can hunt an area. There's not that many people out there, and the hunting's just awesome.
Yeah. What part of ND were you hunting?
What part of North Dakota did you say?
Yeah.
We were in the one time, the first probably 4 or 5 years we were in Garrison. This last time I went out was in Kramer, which is like 8 miles from the Canadian border.
Yeah.
Clear in the west.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And it was something. I mean, it's the pothole region, which is all ducks, mostly ducks, and the very last day we hunted, there was like literally 10,000 ducks using this field.
Oh my!
And yeah, we had the one time there was two groups of us actually hunted together. There was 12 guys, and there was 72 ducks, and we limited out in like 2 hours. It was just, it was crazy.
Stevie, we could have limited out in about 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
6.
Well, does that include the time it takes for somebody to run into town and buy more shells?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
definitely.
it does.
Okay.
Because that will happen.
We try to plan for it, but they overcome it every time.
That's right.
Yeah.
The resilience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys hunt the Susquehanna much, or?
We do a little bit. Yeah. It's
For smallmouth mostly.
A lot of smallmouth
I know you
hunting.
can fish there. Yeah.
Most of our river time is definitely fishing, but
right.
But there's a lot. I have hunted, especially goose. I think we see a lot of geese on the rivers.
Yeah.
Guys, I hate to say this. I'm sorry. I got to say it.
Why would you do this?
We're bumping up on time here, and we're at the segment of the show where we break out what we call the Fast Five. This is 5 questions we're going to ask you, and we're just going to bounce back.
There's 5 guys.
There's 5 guys here, but we are going to ask 2 guys
5 questions.
5 questions. So we'll bounce back and forth between you two, and we'll let you guys duke it out who takes the who takes the first one. No. I mean, you can.
The answer has to be in the form of a question.
It does not. There are no wrong answers.
It can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no wrong
Well, it
answers.
is. I'm excited for this game.
But we'll tell you if they are wrong.
Yeah, we'll tell you if they're wrong.
Okay, cool.
All right. Will, why don't you kick this off?
Number 1. What is one thing that you can't live without in the outdoors?
Oh gosh.
Protection first class.
Yeah, protection first class.
It's a solid answer.
I mean, I want to see a good gun that's reliable. Just because we've all been there where either a flock of ducks or a turkey or a deer, come in and you either hear a click or maybe you miss your first shot and your gun jams, and I know there's not much more frustrating than that. You froze your butt off all day, and you finally get a chance and you blow it, because of a malfunction.
Yeah. All right. There it is. Bucky, number 2, take it away.
What's your favorite movie, guys?
Oh man, Disney and Pixar's Cars. I didn't like the sequel. So like the original one.
Fair enough. I can see that. Yeah.
That was Chris, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
If not Cars, if you want a serious answer.
I feel like that might have been serious, but
Yeah, it was serious. I like Tomato a lot.
there you go.
Got to turn left or turn right or something like that. That or anything by Adam Sandler. Happy Gilmore.
Bingo.
There you go, Waterboy.
I didn't hear a bad answer in any of those.
No,
I love it. All right, let's move on then. Number 3. What is one thing you do every day to prepare for your outdoor lifestyle?
Go to work.
Boom.
Go to work, literally.
Yeah.
It's nice to, nice to be able to work hard, in the off season when there's no hunting, and so you can take a few days off here and there. Nice to be able to, afford a hunting license or a gun or some ammo or whatever. And it's nice to keep the spouse happy too. So there's at least she remembers all that come hunting season when she doesn't see it for a week or so at a time.
Cool.
No, that's a very valid point.
Great answer.
All right. Next is what is on your bucket list?
Oh man. So being on a podcast was one of the things.
Oh, nice. Glad we
Check.
took that off.
Let us
tonight.
know when you cross that one off.
Yeah, cross that one off. I'd like to shoot a buck with my bow, but that'll happen. So that's not really a bucket list thing. I'd like to go on an elk hunt. that's kind of a bucket list item.
That's a solid
Elk
answer.
hunt. Yeah, right now, if I could give you one, that's probably it.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I mean, I got a long bucket list. It's a big bucket, but
Easy, I heard that. Elk hunt for 1,000 it is.
There we go.
There you go. What is an elk hunt with a bow, please?
All right, last question.
This is a tricky one.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
What makes you happy?
Honestly, like I know it's a corny, but I love the outdoors. Like, and I think it's one thing I've instilled in my kids. Not of course I love to hunt and all that, but I just get, if I've added up, I've tried to count over the years, like how many sunrises I've watched, with a gun in my hand.
Yeah.
And, I know it sounds corny and all that, but
not at all.
It's way more about, people that don't hunt just don't understand it.
Nope.
And you can never explain it to them. You're out elk hunting or even, deer hunting in PA, you're going to stumble upon some scenery or whatever that no normal person is going to take the time to walk and, and look at.
Yep.
Whether it's a trout stream or, hearing a turkey gobble or, whatever. It's just, it's way more about, more than just killing something.
Having a porcupine sneak down the tree 15 feet away from you in the dark and scare the crap out of you. Not everybody's experiencing that.
Unreal.
All right. That's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's a show.
That was a show, bud.
That's a show. We appreciate you guys coming on. If you could just hang on a little bit, we're going to wrap things up.
Hold on, Stevie, because before we do what you're about to do, I think.
Yeah.
I need these guys. Kirk, Chris, can one of you guys let us know where can folks?
Oh yeah, boy,
where
I blew
should
that
folks
one.
go to either follow you or keep up with you, but also to get those orders in for some of that lube?
Oh yeah. So if you go to pfcoutdoors.com, we have a store on there. You can buy everything. And you know what? We do a discount for people. Yeah. Anybody that puts in cars is the cars will be the promotion code. All caps. You put cars all caps, we'll give you 10% off your order until I remember to take the code down.
CARS.
So if you go, that's pfcoutdoors.com. We're on Instagram, PFC Outdoors. We're on Facebook /PFC Outdoors.
Yeah.
I'm at CG Flick on Instagram.
Yeah. One thing too, you mentioned about the 2+2, the Berkey Bottle oil.
Yeah.
Actually, the place we're selling the most of it is like most of your like independent mom and pop auto parts stores.
Yeah.
Maybe some Napa stores. They have most of them will have one of our displays on the counter.
Yep.
A lot of the Fisher stores.
Well, anywhere you buy PFC, anywhere you buy Berkey Bottle products now, you should have access. Ask them
at the auto parts store, and just there again because of our kind of name brand and being a known entity.
Sure,
it's way easier to sell it to those guys than to try to explain it.
Support your local small businesses before you go to our website.
Yeah,
go definitely take the time to do that. Yeah. So cool.
I love it.
Thank you.
Very cool. And I like the promo code too. Ties right back into your favorite movie. I love it.
Perfect.
That's right.
You love cars.
It's just so good. Planes is a close second.
Planes is a great movie.
All right, Stevie.
Yeah.
Now I'll let you go ahead and do what you were doing.
Yeah, guys, thank you again very much. This was a good
thank
show.
You. Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you could hang on for a few minutes, we're going to close things out here. We'd like to get your address. We're going to send you out some coffee from our friends at Duck Blind Coffee. They're they're good guys.
We want you guys to migrate over to a better cup.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
see what you did there.
It's pretty good coffee. You'll like it. We'll
stuff.
get that out to you. Guys.
Yeah, bud.
Where can they find us?
Well, first I need Stevie to tell me a little bit more about this month's other sponsor.
This month is also brought to you in part by Miser Creative LLC. Rutton River Pursuits podcast is a production of Miser Creative LLC, and if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or if you need help creating video content for social media, look us up. Give Will an email at will@ruttonriverpursuits.com for more information or pricing options.
Love me some Miser Creative.
Miser Creative. What can you say? You got questions about podcasts? And
He's got answers.
We can make some. We can make something happen.
Nice.
Thanks. How can they find us, boys?
Hop on over, RuttonRiverPursuits.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitters, all the social media. Just search for Rutton River Pursuits. Download the podcast on all your favorite podcast apps like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
And don't forget the old Rutton River Pursuits podcast for the old YouTube.
Check out them
That's
YouTubes.
right.
Yeah,
while
check
you're
out
at
them
it.
YouTubes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right, guys.
Cool.
That's a week.
Good on you, boys.
Thanks, fellas.
See ya.
Take 'em weedless.
Peace.
Is that when they left you at the Grand Canyon?
Mm-hmm. They tried to, but Indians
In
took
a trash
me in.
can, right?
Yeah,
In
in
a
the trash can.
Yeah.
I made a teepee out of it.
Found some of that Copenhagen, none of that skull stuff.
And the Indians took me
You
in.
found the meteorite?
I was more of a Levi Garrett. I was a cheek and, the cheek kind of guy.
I've
with
always
the
thought
leaf.
you were a little cheeky.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
a little
get it.
cheeky.
Bless his
Yeah.
heart.
Well, tell it what's going on with the Cody Museum, guys.
Well, yeah.
Not you, Bucky, them.
What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jump in a time machine, and we're all going to go.
That sounds pretty good.
Sounds like a time
Hey,
machine.
who won the Super Bowl?
It can only go
Heck with
backwards.
that. Bring back some lottery numbers.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd work.
Go backwards.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's really hard shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's actually really easy to shoot. It's hard hitting.
Yeah, pulling
I got
the
kidding,
trigger is easy. Falling on the
A little
ground after
embarrassing.
you pull the trigger is extremely
Yeah.
easy.